Yeah, absolutely. Thanks, bud. Just got through with a good Tuesday practice. Obviously, had to put a lot of things to bed on Sunday. Made a lot of corrections from the Saturday game. We've turned the page. The guys have done a really good job refocusing on what we need to do to get ready to play at a high level on Saturday. Anytime you play the number one team in the country and you don't get some breaks early and you turn the ball over and they capitalize, then we create turnovers and then we don't capitalize. Things went sideways on us in the end of the first, second quarter, and against a great football team with great players. I don't think we're at the position yet to be able to overcome that, but we've learned from it. Guys have had a really good attitude. Obviously, it hurt because they invested so much and have invested so much, and now we've just got to turn the page and do that to get ready to play a really good Boston College team. Did have some standouts. Developmental guys. Tucker Gleason on offense had done a really nice job throughout the week. Is doing some good things in competition for the holding spot as well on PAT field goals. So excited about his development there as well. Jason Moore, walk-on defensive tackle on defense, doing a tremendous job for us. And then I don't think anybody missed that Nate McCullum was out there returning punts for us against the number one team in the country. And I think the cool thing about that is he earned it. The way he practiced all last week, the way he handled his business, the way he comes out early, gets on the jugs, tries to get noticed, make a name for himself. And he came out the last 2 weeks in particularly, has done a really nice job, earned his playing time, earned the ability to be out there on the field for us, and then hopefully we'll start seeing him. He's moving his way up on the depth chart on some of the other special teams units as well. Obviously, there weren't a lot of highlights from last Saturday, but I do think the special teams played at a very high level. Kickoff team, kickoff return team, punt return played at a high level, and the person that stood out the most was Bruce Jordan Swilling. He's a young man that's bided his time in this program, made a position switch in the midst of a global pandemic, and just comes out trying to find a role every single day to help this football team. And you could see him out there on the teams that he was on special teams, especially kickoff, making those two splash plays with inside the 20-yard line, making tackles, which is hard to do. So just really proud of him. And then I guess Presley Harvin again, for the fourth time in 5 games, one of the top punters in the country. And then that coincides obviously with the elite gunner play that we're having right now with Josh Blancato and Jaitlin Askew and Dante Smith and Tobias Oliver. All 4 of those guys rotating in and doing a really nice job at that position to enable us to do the things that we're doing with Presley getting hold of the ball. So with that, open to any questions.
Okay, questions for Coach Collins. Once again, please use the raise hand function within Zoom if you have a question. We'll call on people individually, and we'll start with Kelly Quinlan from Rivals.
Hey, Geoff, you're a defensive coach, and can you hear me at all?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay.
Is this Kelly? Yep, I can hear Kelly.
So, Geoff, you're a defensive coach, and
Yep.
You've been really hands-on in the past, and I know with COVID, your responsibilities have changed a lot.
Sure.
Kind of how can you talk to me a little bit about just the kind of differences in your responsibility and maybe how that's kind of had some impact on the defense and what you've been able to do in terms of helping them?
Yeah, so I mean, I'm in there every day, in there with Coach Stack and the defensive staff. Going back to the focus for the week going into last Saturday, they've got 2 of the best players in college football, the quarterback and the running back, right? Well, we thought our best chance was to load up the box, to commit to the run, be very aware of the screen game, because that's how Travis Etienne has really hurt some people throughout the season and really throughout his career. And we were really loading up some things to affect the running game, to slow down the screen game. I thought we did that. But the quarterback is pretty good. The receivers are pretty good. We had a couple of busts, and then we just had some matchup things that happened to us against elite players. But the whole emphasis of what we've done in our defensive scheme is to continually move stress around to different guys, different positions, so it's not the same stress on the same guy at all times. But just with an elite quarterback, he's able to find where those stress points are, and he's good enough with the weapons that he has around you. Even like on the corner ball against Wanye for the touchdown, Wanye's in great position. He executed the defense very well, and it was this much difference, this much margin between the throw and between the catch. Kid made a perfect throw. Kid made a great catch, ran a great route. Wanye covered it really well, but when the margin of error is this small and they're able to complete those things, we've just got to keep working to increase or decrease that margin of error. And the teams that can, have those kind of strengths where they can take that little bit of room and still hurt you with it, those are dangerous teams, and it's no secret why they're the number one team in the country. So hats off to them. But the guys are working hard, and we just got to continue through development, through film study, through our work habits, all of the things that go in throughout the week to make sure that margin of error for us, we can make it even greater and not have those kind of things happen to us. Thanks, Kelly.
Next question comes from Ken Segura from the Atlanta Journal-Constitution.
Hey, Geoff.
Hey, Ken.
I think I know the answer, but 2 weeks after the Louisville game, you said, I think this team can win in the present term. And I'm checking, did anything that happened Saturday make you feel any differently about that?
No, I've got a ton of confidence in this team, a ton of confidence in these players, ton of confidence in these coaches. We played the number one team in the country, had some really good things happen for us early. We were not able to capitalize on them. We had some bad things happen to us early. They were able to capitalize on them, and then that's where the game kind of got away from us mid-second quarter. But just understanding that when you're playing those kind of teams, whenever you do create turnovers, you got to capitalize on them. If we do give up the ball, which we don't want to do ever, then we've still got to get stops. But just those change in events happen. I think the big topic conversation, when I'm able to see you guys in person, face to face, and we're able to have really good conversations and connect, the level of respect I have for you, the level of respect I have for what you do, asking meaningful, thoughtful questions, and then I sit back. Sometimes I answer in full in the present. Other times I ruminate on a lot of the things that you guys say because they're really good points. The topic of conversation after the Louisville game, we were picked to finish 15th in a 14-team league in preseason, right? Won an ACC game early, win another ACC game. And the question that kept being asked, and it got asked by a couple of you, are you ahead of schedule? And I don't really worry about those kind of things, but it did get me thinking, especially after Saturday. And the biggest thing that I can say is we're much better at every single phase than we ever were at any time. We continue to get better. We're bigger, we're faster, we're stronger. The culture's stronger, the way these guys respond, the way they work, the way they come to the building, the way they connect with each other, the way they connect with the coaching staff, the faith and the belief, and all of those things in building a program are there. We ran we had a bad day on Saturday. That does not change where this program is going. That does not change where this program is headed. I'm just really proud of these guys, the way they've handled it, a bad situation, and come back and know that we've got another chance, another opportunity on Saturday against another really good team, to show what we can be and what we can do, those kind of things. So I appreciate that, Ken. But just I've got a lot of confidence because I get to see these guys every single day. And it's unfortunate in the situation that we're in the midst of a global pandemic right now, that you guys don't get to come out here on Tuesdays. You guys don't get to come out here on Wednesdays and see the attitude and see the effort and just physically see these guys, how much they've grown, how much they're investing. But yeah, the future's bright, the present's bright, and I'm excited about this team. So.
Next question comes from Rod McKenzie from 247 Sports.
Hey, Rod.
Hey, Geoff. Hey, you're facing a team that probably throws the ball as much as any team in the ACC. Strong arm. They like the vertical game, one of the best tight ends. What kind of challenge is that going to be for your secondary and your guys putting pressure on up front?
Sure, and they're very multiple too. They do a lot of nice things schematically. Their motions, they shift, they huddle, which is 40 years ago everybody huddled, and then the no huddle tempo was the change of pace and the change up, and it's going to be a different deal. Seeing them huddle, break the huddle. They've got a lot of weapons, big physical offensive line, running backs that run downhill with some power. And then, I think the receiver's one of the tops in the conference as well, along with the quarterback, along with the tight end. So they've got a lot of weapons. They do a lot of different things to get different matchups. So we've got to be very aware of all of those things at all times. But I think the run game that they have enables them to set up all the play actions and the boots and the throwbacks, all the deceptives that they have, whether it be deceptives within the play or just deceptives before the snap. They do a really good job with that. So just the visual keys, the gap assignments, all of those things, then staying on top of routes, and then making sure we're leveraging properly in every phase and every level, whether it be the pass rush, making sure we're not getting too high on the quarterback, because he is very dangerous with his feet too. He makes a lot of plays. Things might be covered for a second, and then he's got some escapability, and then he keeps his vision downfield. The scramble rules, the plaster rules, they understand those at a high level. So it's a very potent attack.
Next question comes from Charles Odom from the Associated Press.
Hey, Charles.
Hey, you spoke a couple of times in the last week about how this team has to learn how to handle success. And this week, I know maybe it's a different deal that you have to bounce back from some adversity when you not yet built a big log of success to build confidence. Do you have any concerns about the psyche of the team? And maybe can you talk specifically about Geoff Sims and where he had seemed to make progress after the Syracuse game playing Louisville, but the problems that he faced last week?
Right, and I think that's a good question, but I think the leadership that we've been able to build, them understanding the proper ways to lead and influence the team, set the standard, uphold the standard, all the things that we talk about, the film study, the preparation, all the mindset that happens in the locker room. Our players are finally understanding how important that is, that it has to come from them a lot of the time. Because the coaches are going to say the right stuff. We're going to demand the right things. We're going to make sure we're promoting and upholding the right things as well. But when we can get this program to the point where those kind of things are run by the players, that's when you have the strongest programs and the biggest foundations that can be set. I thought the small senior class of 8 guys last year did a really good job of establishing a base of a leadership role. These guys are continually trying to take it to another level. Geoff Sims is in those meetings as well, just as a young guy playing such a prominent position and learning on the run how to be, a big-time player in a big-time program and being in that leadership role. We all have to support him. And, you always know when you have youth at a lot of positions, there is going to be a learning curve, and that learning curve is not just a gradual straight line at all times. No growth in life is that way. There's going to be little things, little dips, and then some upticks, and then there's going to be a thing that might drop down, but the trajectory is going like this for Geoff, for Jameer, for Jordan Williams, a lot of the young guys that are having to play for us, and for this entire program. And even though there might be some bumps, the trajectory is heading in the right direction.
Another question from Ken Segura from the AJC.
Hey, Ken.
Hey, Geoff. I know you don't like to say too much, but can you tell us just kind of about Jahaziel and his apparent decision to move on?
Yep, and the way we've always done this, Ken, is we let the guys do that narrative. We've all known that he's, had some injuries that set him down last season, had some injuries that prevented him early in the year from contributing. The only thing I will say is I love Jahazel, the man that he is within this program, his family, all the contributions that he's done. I have nothing but love, nothing but respect for him, for his family, and whatever direction that he needs to go. We are fully committed to helping him in every single endeavor, because once you're one of us, you're always one of us. So I'll let Jahazel handle those kind of things. But just early in the season, even end of last year, a lot of the things were injury-based. But, I don't want to talk about that. All I can say is we love Jahazel. We fully support Jahazel, and we will help him whatever direction he needs to go. And, excited to have a lifelong relationship with him and his family. And one person that I haven't mentioned, I know I mentioned last week that Sylvain is going to be out for the season. Sadly, Avery Boyd, in his first play of his college career, got injured, so he'll be out for the rest of the year. So just prayers up for him. A great kid. The future is ridiculously bright for him. The things that we saw in the recruiting process and the evaluation process of Avery Boyd. This is a young man that's 6'2 and a half, probably 218 pounds. He ran I think it was a 4.35 when he came here in camp. Then you get to know him, his character, his work ethic, his attitude, all of those things that we value in this program he has. And just excited about, once he continues to get healthy, the contributions that he's going to make in every phase, because that size, speed, body type is going to be great for us on special teams, as well as him being an elite receiver for us. So it's a sad thing, but also, we're fully supportive and going to help him develop into the big-time player that we know he can be.
Time for a couple more for Coach Collins. We'll start with one from Patrick Canaro from Ramblin' Sports.
Hey, good
Pat.
morning, Coach. Several positives from Saturday, particularly your running game. Still looked pretty decent, and especially with reference to Jahmyr Gibbs. Can you give us your thoughts on that going forward, please?
Yeah, and we felt really good. So the game plan, not to give too much, and even for future contests, felt really good about loading up the box and stopping the run, knowing we needed to do that, and also being able to do our thing in the run game. And it's just one of those things where once some bad things happen and you kind of have to get out of that, the things that we know are really, some things that we can do well. But yeah, the way the O-line is playing, they're still playing at a high level, and the running game as well. And, just continue to keep working and just finding out every single week what we can do and what we can be. But we've got a lot of really good players that are doing a lot of really good things. We just got to make sure we're protecting the football, creating turnovers, getting explosive plays, denying explosive plays, and playing complementary football like we have a lot of times this season.
Our final question for Coach Collins today comes from Kelly Quinlan from Rivals.
Hey, Kelly.
Hey, Geoff. I don't have like a super positive question, so you may have to take another one. But I was just curious about defending the middle of the field. It seems like safety play has maybe not been up to the level of what those guys can do. And I was just curious kind of what you've seen looking at some of the games where you guys have had some struggles giving up passes in the middle of the field, and if there's any kind of overriding issue that you're seeing.
And what you do, Kelly, as a defensive coach, is there's certain things that you want to have the middle field open, you want to have the middle field closed. There's stress points on individuals within each scheme, and some of the times that we've been found and we lose those 50-50 balls, or we just get beat, and we just got to continue to get better at those things. But our schematic package has been successful everywhere we've been. We continue to add on it and build on it relative to certain positions and body types that we have in the organization, every single place that we've been. And what we're doing, who we're doing it with, there's things that we're always going to look to improve on, and we've got a really good week to come, get to work against a unique scheme that we really haven't seen this year, and find ways to be successful on every phase on Saturday, from the pass rush to linebackers playing the run and in coverage, and DBs helping out in both ways as well. And so that's what we're going to do.